I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the lands on which we meet today, as well as the traditional owners across the lands we call Victoria. I'd also like to pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging, and extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in attendance today. So at CERSH, we thought, what a better time than this conference to professionally launch an initiative that's sort of been in the works for the last year and a half. Fortunately, the floods helped us because the vending machine wasn't ready in October, so it sort of worked out quite well. So as you've heard now from a couple of people, we do have an initiative which is STI-X or STI-X, the STI test vending machines. We want you to have a play. We want you to become familiar with it, get an idea of what it's about, and we can field any questions, comments, concerns. Kim will deal with complaints. I typically don't. So there are two machines, and at the moment they will dispense tri-site chlamydia and gonorrhea tests, as well as Atomo rapid HIV tests. We are looking in the future to sort of extend that to other capacities, especially around syphilis and potentially the suite of hepatitis. But at the moment, we're using the Atomo rapid flow, so it's a lateral flow test, as well as a traditional laboratory-based chlamydia and gonorrhea testing. So these aren't the first vending machines in Australia. So there are some vending machines in Brisbane and in Adelaide. However, they both only dispense just the Atomo rapid tests. So these are the first ones in Australia that do more of a complete sexual health screen. Now, worldwide, they're also not the first worldwide. For the last 4 or 5 years, they've been operating around the UK. However, to the best of our knowledge, this is the first place anywhere in the world that they've been rolled out in regional and rural areas. So with the two machines, they're going to find over the next year or so a couple of different places. One has actually made its public debut in Echuca about 2 weeks ago. That's going to sort of follow the Murray River up, spend some time in Swan Hill, and then Mildura. The machine that you see here today will go home with me to Shepparton and then spend some time in Wangaratta at the conclusion of its Shep time period. Ultimately, the cover page that you see when you go there is more of an introduction around what the machine offers. Once you get past that, we offer basic demographic questions, and these do need to be completed to generate a code that you'll need to access the test. So you do need a mobile phone. Now, the reason why we've chosen what we've done in this instance, that everything is self-contained within the machine. So there's been a lot of questions around why we don't have a capacity for somebody to generate the code prior to coming to the machine. That requires internet access in advance. We do think it's something that we would like to include in the future, and we've spoken to a few people around how to make that work, so there is the technological integration that we can do. So over the next year, we'll work on what that'll look like for some communities, but ultimately, at the moment, it allows you to be sort of its one-stop shop. You go and you do everything on the machine, and it will go from there. So the questions on the front, I'm now going to do this from memory. Age, postcode, your sex, your gender, the sex of your partners, and the last time that you had an STI screen. Now again, the reason why those questions were chosen, some for basic research purposes, just to get a basic idea of who's using the machine, but also so we can make sure we're targeting sort of the right people with the location. And we also know that not everybody that takes a test will return a test. So therefore, if we're collecting data only from the test itself that's returned, we might not actually find what the true reach really is. When you have your mobile phone handy again, we do have it set up that we can dispense tests, so by all means, please do go through and have a play with it. That's the cover page. Now, the reason why it's scaled a bit funky on here is because of, again, the layout of the screen. So that's the cover page you'll see. You'll tap the arrows to move to the next page. So the demographics that are initially being targeted for this initiative are on the screen. So 25 years or younger, Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander, or if you are a man who has sex with men. Now, the reason why these were chosen are based on other funding priorities with a Test Me program. That's not saying that anyone else can't test. If you hit yes, it's going to move on. So there's your advice if you're working with any young people or anybody from culturally and linguistically diverse communities. They still can access testing, and we will expand this to other populations as we go. You click on yes, it'll take you to the screen that I just described in terms of the basic demographic data. as shown. Everything's touchscreen, so we can just keep going through. Everything will come up with its own little keypad. Once you've opened up the keypad, you just type stuff in by tapping on the screen. And then you should see a completed screen that looks like this. Once you've done that, it'll actually give you the bottom right arrow that will allow you to progress to enter your phone number. So once you've done that, you do pick a test. Now, at the moment, this isn't exactly what you'll see out there today. So just due to a few changes and some amazingly thoughtful discussions with the TGA, we've cut this down to 2 tests at the moment because we have to dispense 2 boxes per test. So there will be a penis test kit and a vagina test kit. One will come with the boxes of the pathology tests that need to be posted. The other will have the Atomo rapid test. In the future, we'll move back to this structure once we can consolidate things into a single box, or when we move to pathology tests across the board, so like dried blood spot, which we're hoping, working with our partners in the future, that'll be available hopefully in the next year or so. That's what it'll look like today. Enter your phone number, pretty simple, and then hit go or next, and it should, within about 60 seconds, give you a text message that has a code. So it'll come from Unimelb. You'll enter the 4-digit code, and voila, you have a test, or two tests technically. And then once you're done fishing them out, again, basic information that we're asking at the end is really just to get people to give us some basic feedback. Did they find it quick? Did they find it easy? There will be a more in-depth analysis done as we go through the program, but at the moment it's really just trying to get that really upfront data captured for people who are using the machine. We know that, again, even the people that take the tests doesn't necessarily mean they're going to complete them. So we also know that they may not complete the survey either. So it just gives us a little bit of feedback that we can go off of in terms of developing sort of STI-X or STI-X version 2. And then again, finish, and then it'll be a thank you to our partners, and you've had your test. Now again, normally when I'm talking through this, it'll take 15 so minutes to explain the screens. You're going to be doing this in real time. It literally takes you 30 to 45 seconds. It's quite quick. So there's been a lot of questions around, how long does a young person want to be standing in an area, playing with this machine. Ultimately, it depends on where the machines are located. So in Echuca, it's sitting in the library at the moment. So if you have a chance to get up to Echuca, a bit of a distance from here, go check it out. The next one that goes to Shep will spend some time in our sexual health hub and then move into a public toilet. That's probably the riskiest place that it's going, that it stays in the public toilet for the duration of its tenure. And then we'll be moving it to some other locations. And the idea of testing it in different locations is also to get some feedback around what works for various populations. We know that it's not going to be a one-stop shop for everybody. This is a pilot. There are 2 machines. Long term, the machines can be completely customized. We can customize the outside. We can customize the screens. We can tailor it to whatever venue or population we're working with. So ultimately, that should be it for my 15 minutes. And as I said, I'll be on hand for the rest of the conference. Seek me out, and we'll help you have a go.